legendary capital of the Koshala kingdom and the birthplace of an epic. But what was life truly like in the city where Lord Rama walked? Today, we step back into the Golden Age. Ayodhya sat at the heart of the fertile Koshala kingdom, nestled safely along the banks of the Sarayu. The river was more than water. It was the lifeblood that made Ayodhya a center of wealth and peace. The city was said to be 12 yojanas long and 3 wide, a marvel of ancient urban planning. At the center of this grandeur sat King Dasharatha, a ruler defined by his dharma and his duty. He was a proud descendant of the Ikshvaku dynasty, tracing his lineage back to the sun god himself. But a king is only as strong as his foundation. His 3 queens, Kausalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi, held the court together. Kausalya, the eldest, brought wisdom and the grace of a mother to the entire kingdom. Sumitra, known for her deep patience and foresight, was the pillar of the royal household. And Kaikeyi, celebrated for her courage and skill in diplomacy, completed the royal trinity. Beyond the palace walls, Ayodhya was a city that never felt the pangs of poverty or strife. The markets were filled with the finest grains, shimmering silks and gold, signs of a booming economy. The streets were wide and clean, with homes constructed not just for shelter, but as sanctuaries of peace. Every citizen lived in harmony. It was said that in Ayodhya, the law was not a burden, but a guide for a righteous life. Governance was built on tradition. King Dasharatha relied on a council of wise ministers, led by the trusted Sumantra. But above all, the moral compass of the state was Guru Vashishta, the royal preceptor. His guidance ensured that every decision made in the palace was aligned with dharma, the eternal law of righteousness. Education was the crown jewel of the kingdom. Knowledge was as accessible as the water of the Sarayu. Though the city was peaceful, it was also fortified. The protective moats and strong gates symbolized its invincibility. As the sun set, the city would glow with the light of thousands of earthen lamps, turning Ayodhya into a sea of gold. Nature and civilization lived as one. The lush orchards surrounding the city provided bounty throughout the seasons. But in the quiet corridors of the inner palace, a destiny was forming that would change the world forever. The greatest joy arrived not in the form of gold, but in the laughter of children echoing through the palace. The heavens rejoiced when Rama was born to Queen Kausalya, the embodiment of the Supreme. Soon after, Bharata was born to Kaikeyi, and the twins, Lakshmana and Shatrughna, were born to Sumitra. They were not just brothers. They were reflections of each other. Rama, the calmest, and Lakshmana, his constant shadow. King Dasharatha's life gained new purpose. His reign was now defined by the future of these 4 radiant boys. As they grew, their education began. Under the tutelage of sage Vashishta, they learned the Vedas and the art of governance. They were masters of the bow, yet they were taught that true strength lies in humility and self-control. They didn't just study in the palace, they walked the streets of Ayodhya, connecting with the people they were meant to lead. The bond between Rama and Lakshmana became legendary, an unbreakable devotion that would survive even the toughest trials. and the bond between Bharata and Shatrughna mirrored this, showcasing a family unit built on absolute love. Years passed, and the boys transitioned into brave, noble princes. The kingdom watched in pride as their future leaders matured. They were ready. But fate, as always, had a larger plan, one that would test their virtue in ways they could not yet imagine. As they entered young adulthood, their training intensified. They were no longer just students, they were warriors. Rama stood apart, not just for his skill with the bow, but for the profound calm he maintained in the heat of practice. Destiny arrived at the palace gates in the form of sage Vishvamitra, a man whose presence shook the very ground. The sage sought the prince's help to protect his yagnas from the demons that plagued the forests. For a father, it was a test of faith. To send his sons into the unknown wilderness was the hardest decision of his life. They stepped out of the comfort of Ayodhya into the wild, where the true test of their dharma began. In the darkness of the forest, the brothers faced challenges that were not just physical, but spiritual. Rama and Lakshmana became the protectors of righteousness, clearing the path for the holy fires to burn undisturbed. The forest journey led them to new horizons, eventually reaching the gates of Mithila, the kingdom of King Janaka. Little did they know, this journey would lead them to the greatest union in history, a destiny written in the stars. The foundation for their future was being laid, moving them steadily away from the sheltered princes to the legendary heroes. Mithila was different, vibrant, intellectual, and bustling with scholars and guests from across the land. King Janaka welcomed the brothers, seeing in Rama not just a guest, but the light that the world had been waiting for. And there it stood, the great celestial bow of Shiva, a weapon so heavy that none could even lift it. The Swayamvara had begun. Proud kings and warriors from every corner of the earth tried and failed. Then, at the gentle urging of sage Vishwamitra, Rama stepped into the center of the arena. Join us in the next episode as we witness the return to Ayodhya and the turning point of the epic. Don't forget to subscribe.